So the Biden administration is reportedly preparing to push back on a major court ruling. A judge found that officials likely violated the First Amendment with social media censorship. The judge said the White House censored information on issues like COVID, elections, and Hunter Biden. Several prominent administration figures and agencies are blocked from discussing censorship with social media firms. The White House with this clapback.
If you're asking me if we agree or disagree, we certainly disagree with this decision. And as I said, the DOJ is reviewing this, so I'm not going to get ahead of what their evaluation, what options they're going to potentially take on moving forward.
Republicans say the ruling is a victory for Americans, though. Watch.
I think that language reflects that this was a stunning rebuke, but also an appropriate one. And I will tell you, my take is that this is going to hold up on appeal. Americans' ability to engage in honest debate about it was suppressed. And so you have these agencies with social media working to suppress the truth and amplify lies.
A new op-ed argues the link between government and private censorship at its behest isn't well developed under law. So this could be a major test case. The plaintiffs are doing a public service by teeing up whether government can use the cover of private business to censor views it dislikes. Tomi Lahren, Fox News contributor and Outkick host, joins me now. Tomi, love you, and I'm so glad to have you. Tomi, you were actually named in this lawsuit. Congratulations. I think that is actually a tip of the hat to you. And it's also kind of sad. It's because you were using free speech. But it's conservative speech they hate, right? Journalist Greg Price finding an email from a White House official calling to censor you. How do you feel about that?
Well, we've known about this for quite some time now, and I have to say I am so happy that this lawsuit has been put forward, and I'm so happy with this judge's decision. It was a 155-page decision. I am on page 16 of this, and what this judge did is he really just detailed line by line all the areas of government collusion, big government, big tech working together to suppress information, and the judge also noted that the information happened to be, you're going to be shocked, Julie, primarily conservative speech made by conservative-leaning individuals. I fell in that category. But what was interesting about the way that the White House digital director tried to censor me is that he actually wrote to Facebook saying that I needed to be reduced on the platform simply because my post was getting a lot of traction saying that I personally wouldn't be getting the COVID vaccine. So if they want to argue all day, right, left, and center that they're combating misinformation or disinformation, I don't know how me saying I'm not going to get a vaccine could possibly qualify for that in their wildest dreams. But Facebook was happy to, quote, run that down and get that reduction rolling. So this decision is fantastic for the First Amendment for Americans, but we want to wait and see what consequences are actually going to be applied and what accountability will be taken.
If any, exactly. That's a great point. You know, the fact that the Department of Justice is going to appeal the ruling is extremely telling because this ruling bans certain federal officials and agencies from contacting social media companies in efforts to suppress speech. But we're not just talking about any speech here. We're talking about conservative speech. That is censorship. OK, I don't care what you want to call it. But the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, told reporters when asked about this that the administration disagreed with it, but she wouldn't directly respond to a question about censorship of conservative speech. Of course she's not. We're not going to admit, yes, if you do not agree with us, we will silence you, because that's essentially what they're trying to do with this appeal.
Oh, it absolutely is. And the fact that the government wants this ability to control social media and big tech entities and have a direct line to them and have direct communication telling them what to censor, what to reduce, what to suppress, that should be concerning to all Americans, regardless of your political affiliation, especially when it comes to something like COVID.
Totally.
Right? The American people shouldn't be taking an ideological or a political stance on something like COVID. We should be able to have an honest discussion because all of our lives were impacted by it and the mandates. So the fact that they wanted to shut down that speech, that to me is the most dangerous.
Very dangerous. All right, got to switch gears here. The White House is still refusing to talk about Hunter's child with his former assistant, an ex-stripper. A New York Times report says the 4-year-old has yet to meet her father or grandfather, President Biden. The report also saying in strategy meetings, aides have been told that the Bidens have 6, not 7 grandchildren. The White House really, really doesn't want to talk about it. Watch.
There was a story in the New York Times over the weekend about Hunter Biden's daughter in Arkansas. Does the president acknowledge this little girl as his granddaughter?
I don't have anything to share from here.
Twitter users not impressed with that one. One user writing, the Bidens hung a Christmas stocking with the dog's name on it, and the president won't acknowledge his own granddaughter? Another dripping with sarcasm. You can just feel the empathy and decency oozing. I mean, this is not only shameful for Hunter, but he's the son. He's got problems. We all know it. This is the president of the United States. He does have a 7th grandchild. And this little girl is going to grow up knowing that her grandfather wanted nothing to do with her. A poor and innocent 4-year-old, beautiful little girl.
Right, and going back to that question for Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday, I wish that reporter would have asked her flat out, how many grandchildren does the president have? Because then she would have been really backed into a corner and she would have had to answer, but they gave her kind of the easy way out on this, that she doesn't discuss family matters, and I get that. But again, we all know Hunter, as you said, Julie, he's got his issues. But the big guy that's all about family and restoring morality and decency back to the White House, he won't acknowledge a 4-year-old little girl. You know, we're told time and time again that he defends Hunter because it's about a father's love. But that doesn't extend to Hunter's child and his own grandchild. There's no grandfatherly love he's willing to extend here. That, to me, is the most disappointing part of all of this. That little 4-year-old girl is an innocent victim in all of this.
I mean, there was a DNA test. This is a biological child. Therefore, it is a biological grandchild. And the fact that the president doesn't have the decency to acknowledge her, despite his own son's problem. Okay, fine. You slept with a stripper and got her pregnant. I'm so proud of you, Hunter. But nonetheless, that is my grandchild, and I'm going to do the right thing. I can't even believe we're having this conversation. Like, half the words that have come out of my mouth this week just talking about this White House is, like, truly jarring.
Oh, well, it is. Well, a couple weeks ago, you had a trans flasher on the White House lawn, and then you had cocaine found in the White House. And of course, you've got the big guy who fails to acknowledge his own grandchild. So again, like I said, this White House told us that they were going to bring back all of this morality, this moral courage that Donald Trump ruined in his tenure in office. They're doing the exact opposite, and they're doing it shamelessly and brazenly. And it's really unfortunate. You know, this president also talks all the time about how the kids belong to all of us. They belong to the collective. Well, he won't even acknowledge his own grandchild. So I'm not sure what kind of parental advice we're going to take from him. It's
a real shame. I hope they do the right thing, especially with all the backlash. I mean, come on, wake up. Like, seriously. Tomi Lahren, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on. Great to see you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.